Hey guys, what's up? And welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Esther. And guess what, guys? We're going to be diving right into this video I came across. Okay, it's about the Nordic countries. So when we talk about the Nordic countries, I think Finland, Sweden, I think Norway. Is Norway amongst Nordic countries? I'm not sure, but I'm very sure Finland and Sweden, they are in the Nordic countries. So let's find out why authoritarians hate Nordic countries. Why? Why do they just hate them? Let's find out. Stick to the end, okay? You're going to be seeing the exact reason why the authoritarians hate, or would I say dislike, Nordic countries. Let's dive right in without much delays.
Few regions on Earth provoke as much fear and resentment from authoritarian leaders and regimes as the Nordic countries. In this video, we will explore the reasons behind this hostility and why these relatively small nations are considered a significant threat by dictators and strongmen around the world. The Nordic countries, Sweden, Norway, Iceland, Finland, Denmark, and the Faroe Islands, are situated in the far north of Europe. Despite their relatively small size and population, these nations have a unique ability to annoy authoritarian regimes, and this is due to several factors. The Nordics are characterized by high levels of freedom, happiness, and economic prosperity. They are known for their liberal values and their unwavering commitment to democracy, qualities that terrify leaders like Vladimir Putin, Xi Jinping, and other authoritarian figures globally. If you end up enjoying this video, I'd be really thankful if you could hit that like button. To understand why dictators despise the Nordics, we must examine the political and social framework that underpins these societies. The Nordic model is a blend of a robust welfare state with a market economy and strong labor laws. It is often described as a harmonious balance between capitalism and socialism. This model has led to these countries consistently ranking among the highest in global indexes measuring democracy, happiness, and education. For instance, all Nordic nations rank within the top 7 on the World Happiness Index, with 4 of them occupying the top spots. This index evaluates factors like GDP, social support, freedom to make life choices, generosity, and life expectancy. Remarkably, a Nordic country has topped this index for the past decade. One of the reasons for the Nordics' success is their comprehensive educational systems. In Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Iceland, and Finland, higher public education is free of charge. This ensures that individuals from all socioeconomic backgrounds have the opportunity to pursue higher education without incurring massive student debt, a stark contrast to countries like the United States. Social mobility in the Nordics is the highest in the world.
Wow, guys, that one there is so interesting. Like, I know there are some schools that offer student loans. They also give some give grants, but they are mostly student loans. But for me to find out that these Nordic countries don't offer student loans, that education, higher education, is ultimately free of charge. Wow, that is interesting. Originally, when I heard that their education was free of charge, I thought it was maybe their basic education, the primary, the tender ones, the young ones. But I never knew that including high schools, you've got no student loans, nothing, just school, just go to school if you want to go to school. Wow, that is absolutely interesting to know. And I give it up for them because it is not easy. Yeah, it is not easy. Let's keep watching regardless, guys.
This metric measures the ease with which individuals can achieve success regardless of their background, ethnicity, or social status. In these countries, anyone with the merit can attain their desired position in life. Notable examples include Masud Gharahkhani, the president of Norway's parliament, who came to Norway as a 5-year-old refugee from Iran, and Mattias Tesfaye, Denmark's Minister for Children and Education, the son of an Ethiopian refugee. These stories exemplify how the Nordic system enables people to prosper, irrespective of their origins. When it comes to measuring freedom, all 5 Nordic countries rank among the top 10 globally. The core principle of the Nordic model is that everyone has equal rights, which is instilled in the population from a young age through a cultural phenomenon known as the janteloven. This concept teaches that no one should consider themselves better, wiser, or stronger than others, promoting humility and a flat management structure where everyone feels comfortable expressing their opinions. People from other nations often consider people from the Nordics rude and direct, but this is as simple as people from these countries respecting a person rather than their title. Respect is earned, not given. So why does all of this make the Nordic countries a thorn in the side of authoritarian regimes? Imagine dedicating your life to amassing power and wealth in an authoritarian state like Russia, China, or Iran, only to have your population exposed to information about countries that consistently top global indicators of success and freedom. This poses
Wow.
a significant threat to the narratives that dictators rely on to maintain control. Take Russia's Vladimir Putin, for example. He frequently threatens Finland, Sweden, and Norway with nuclear weapons in an attempt to display
Really?
strength.
To
However,
display strength?
social scientists suggest that these
What kind of
actions
thing is
are
that?
his only way to win domestically against these nations, as Russia is the polar opposite of the flourishing Nordic countries. Over the past 2 years, more than 100 Russian state agents have been arrested across the Nordics, with one recently exchanged for Western citizens, after falsely claiming to be a scientist working in Tromsø, Norway. Xi Jinping of China also views the Nordics as a public relations nightmare for his totalitarian regime. China has attempted to influence elections in the Nordic countries through data breaches and the sale of Chinese technology. However, several Nordic nations have responded by rejecting companies like Huawei for infrastructure projects, knowing that Chinese companies are required to share information with the Chinese government if requested. Additionally, Sweden hosts a significant portion of the Tibetan opposition, while Norway uses its Nobel Peace Prize to support democratic forces in China, with one recent winner being a Chinese opposition figure. Iran shares a similar story. The Nordic countries provided refuge to much of Iran's opposition following the 1979 Islamic Revolution. The current president of the Norwegian parliament, Masoud Gharahkhani, is the son of Iranian-born parents who fled Iran due to their political beliefs. Norway, in particular, does not shy away from confronting Iran, as evidenced by its decision to award the Nobel Peace Prize to Iranian pro-democracy and women's rights advocate Narges Mohammadi last year. This move prompted harsh criticism from Iran, but ultimately, there is little the Iranian regime can do in response. In Sweden, authorities have found evidence linking Iran to some of the gang violence that has plagued the country, with Iranian opposition politicians in exile often being targeted. And in general, Sweden is the country in the Nordic that have the iciest relations to Iran's priesthood. The disdain for the Nordic countries extends beyond the more well-known authoritarian figures like Putin, Xi, and the Iranian leadership. Other authoritarian leaders have also expressed their displeasure with the Nordic nations due to their progressive values and international influence. Belarus's Alexander Lukashenko has repeatedly criticized the Nordic countries for their support of democratic movements in Eastern Europe. In his rhetoric, he accuses the Nordics of meddling in Belarusian affairs by providing refuge and support to opposition figures. For example, Lithuania, which has strong ties to the Nordic countries, has offered asylum to Belarusian opposition leader Svetlana Tsikhanouskaya. Lukashenko has publicly denounced the Nordic countries as puppets of the West, accusing them of trying to destabilize his regime through their liberal policies and human rights advocacy. North Korea's Kim Jong-un views the Nordic countries as ideological enemies. The Nordics' consistent emphasis on human rights and their critical stance on North Korea's human rights abuses have drawn the ire of Kim's regime. In a rare statement, North Korea's state-run media criticized Denmark and Norway for their hypocritical human rights policies, accusing them of undermining global peace through their alliances with the United States. The Nordics' involvement in promoting human rights at the United Nations has also made them targets of North Korea's vitriol. The influence of the Nordic countries extends beyond their borders, further exacerbating the frustrations of authoritarian regimes. The Nordics have been active in various international organizations where they consistently advocate for human rights, environmental protection, and democratic governance. Their strong presence in the United Nations, for instance, has allowed them to push forward resolutions that often challenge the actions of authoritarian states. Moreover, the Nordic countries are among the most generous donors of foreign aid, often tying their financial support to the promotion of democratic values and human rights. This has led to accusations from authoritarian leaders that the Nordics are using their wealth to impose Western values on other nations. In regions like Africa and Asia, where China and Russia are also vying for influence, the presence of Nordic-funded NGOs and development projects presents a stark contrast to the more transactional approaches of authoritarian powers. The Nordic countries, with their commitment to freedom, equality, and democracy, stand as a powerful counterpoint to the authoritarian regimes of the world. Their success serves as a constant reminder to dictators of what is possible in a truly free society, making them a perpetual irritant to those who seek to control and oppress. As long as the Nordic nations continue to thrive, they will remain a beacon of hope for those who yearn for freedom and a significant challenge to authoritarian leaders everywhere. Their influence on the global stage only deepens the disdain felt by dictators as the Nordics continue to champion the very principles that authoritarian regimes fear most. If you liked this video, I'd be honored if you hit that like button.
Guys, this is honestly strange. How would someone not like freedom? How would someone not adore democracy? Really? Like in this current generation, okay, let's assume that there are lots of people that never liked democracy or freedom in the past. But hey, we're in the 21st century, if not going to the 22nd century in a few years' time, and somebody doesn't, or a group of people do not still, want freedom of democracy. Oh no, that's honestly bizarre. I've never seen this kind of thing before. Well, it's your choice. But regardless, I love what the Nordic countries are doing. I love the fact they are helping, and I also love the fact they are topped. I think the first four countries on the chart stating the country with most, is it happiness, freedom, and some other thing. I think Sweden, Iceland, Denmark, Finland, four of them were topping the chart. And that is beautiful to see. That is really beautiful to see because they merit whatever that is given to them. For them to willingly give out arms to people and also free education, even up to higher education, no student loans. Honestly, that is breathtaking. I give it up for these countries. I give it up for the Nordic countries. Keep doing what you are doing. Keep being you guys. I will give it up for you guys. So thank you for watching. Let me know what you think about this in the comments, okay? Stay tuned because we got so much more coming your way. All right?